In this video, we will be working with files within the command line of Windows. So the first thing that we want to do is let's create an empty file again. Again, that's echo period redirection, and we'll just say file.txt, making a text file. Now, I have the current working directory open in the GUI, so you can kind of see what we're doing as well. And the first command that we're going to go over besides the creation of an empty file is copy. And copy does exactly what you think. It copies the file, so you copy that file into a new file name or a path, whichever one you prefer. And I'm going to call mine copied file text. You notice it says one file copied, and we can see it in the GUI. Now if you're only in the CLI, you can type in the dir command, and you'll notice that copied file text and file text are the same size, so they are copies of one another. Now, with this, we are just copying a single file. But what if we want to copy in bulk? We would use a variation of the copy command, and we would use xcopy. Now with xcopy, the nice thing is you can specify everything within a directory. In this case, the period / resembles my current working directory, and then use the asterisk for that. However, before I go ahead and show you this, I'm going to make a directory so that we can see all of the contents from this directory get copied into another. So let's just do copy folder. And you see copy folder there. If I run the dir command, you see that this is a directory copy folder. And again, I'm going to run xcopy in my current directory everything into copy folder. I press enter. It says 2 files have been copied. We notice no change here. But if we change the directory into copy folder, and then we run the dir command there, we see the files were indeed copied. Now, I'm really not interested in having these files be, copied over. So I want to delete these files within this directory. You can just use the delete command, or del, and specify the file that you want deleted. Press enter. You notice that copied file was deleted. Now, I am going to echo redirect file 2, and we see that we have file 2. Just to show you there's more than one file in here, you can actually delete the entire directory's contents very similarly to what I did before with the xcopy. Specify the current directory, or the directory, you can type in the full path, and then use a wildcard to specify anything after this point. I press enter. It says, are you sure you want to do this? Yes, I am sure. And now if I run the dir command, I have 0 files. I deleted both of those files with a single command. Now let me go back one directory here and clear my screen. And now we're going to cover moving files. So I want to move my copied file, so you use the move command. What file are you going to move? And I want to move it into the copy folder. Now, if you looked at the GUI while this was happening, you notice that the file disappeared. And if I run the dir command, the file is no longer there. But if I go into the directory of copy folder and I run the dir command, we notice that copied file is now there. So remember, the move command more or less copies the file, pastes it in its location, and then deletes the file in the original location. So the move command is much more convenient when you don't want to have duplicates, rather than running the copy command and then the delete command. So I'm going to move this copied file back a directory, and you'll notice one file was moved. If I run the dir command, it is out of there. If I go back a directory by change directory ... and I run the dir command, as you see, it's already here, and it is here as well. Renaming a file is fairly straightforward. You use the ren command, rename, and I'm going to rename copied file to newly named .odt, why not? And you notice if I run the dir command, newly named.odt is the new file name. And if you watched in the GUI, you saw that change happening as well. Now, with that, I want to change the file attribute for newly named to be a hidden file. Now, a little bit about file attributes. We have a few in Windows. We have R for read-only. We have A for archive file attribute. We have S for system file attribute. We have H for a hidden file attribute, and I for don't index content file attribute. So those are the attributes of a file that you can set within the command line. And the way that you're going to set it is use the attribute command, or attrib. And here's going to be the thing. You can use a minus sign or a dash, and then use whatever attribute you're going to use and then specify the file, right? In this case, I'm doing file.txt. But notice what happens. I press enter, and we're looking at the GUI. We know hidden files are supposed to disappear from the GUI, and they're supposed to disappear from a regular dir command, but nothing happened. The reason for that is when you use the dash or the minus sign, you're actually removing the attribute. You're not setting the attribute. So if I were to do this again, except I use a plus sign, I'm going to add this attribute of hidden, and I'm going to do it to newly named .odt, and I press enter. You notice that the changes happened in the GUI and then the file disappeared. And if I run a dir command within the command line, we only see that one file is in this directory. We know there's another file, so we can search for this file based on attributes. And the way that we would do that is we just run the dir command with a h, the attribute of hidden, within the current directory. And you notice that yes, there is a hidden file named newly named.odt that is 3 bytes in size. Of course, you can search for files with more than one attribute, and in that case you would use more or less the same exact command switches with attribute, and then you would just keep specifying these over and over and over again until you are satisfied with, I want to see everything within this. But for simplicity, I just wanted to see the hidden file, and we do see the newly named is a hidden file within this directory. Again, one last time, if I do attrib -h and then I do newly named.odt, you notice that newly named comes right back into the GUI, and if I run the dir command, it's no longer hidden from the command line dir command either. So that is working with files in Windows, and that concludes this lesson.